are on land, Mike Seidel. So where you are on the northern side of the circulation, not yet getting the strongest onshore flow and not on the strongest side of the hurricane. It's ironic that Jim's farther away from the center and getting worse weather than you are.
Yes, we are not getting much rain at all right now, Dr. Knapp. I have to say I'm kind of unimpressed with the part one of the northern Iowa. We hardly had that much wind. If we had a gust over 40, 45, I'd be surprised. I mean, it's raining pretty good as far as, it's moderate rainfall, but we're not getting the rainfall rates of, say, 2 to 3 inches an hour. Some of the rain that we've seen east of here, Pascagoula, over towards Gulf Shores, and where Jim is. But we have seen the water continue to occasionally come up into the walkway, but no big rise in the water yet. We've got about another couple of hours to see how that goes. We'll hope for the best. But as you mentioned, Dr. Knapp, our wind here is from east to west. It's not blowing onshore like it is farther east of here. So that's really going to cut down on the surge values. And it'll be interesting to see how much water actually gets across US 90 in this part of Jefferson County from, say, here in Biloxi over to Gulfport and over towards past Christiane versus areas to the east, because right now I don't feel it. I just don't feel it right now, Dr. Knapp.
Yeah, and also I wanted to update everyone with regard to a couple of other changes in this new advisory from the Hurricane Center. And this goes to who's getting onshore flow and who's pretty unlikely to get it from this point forward. They've discontinued, the Weather Service has, the storm surge warning from the mouth of the Mississippi westward and for Lake Pontchartrain. But we still have that storm surge warning on the Mississippi coast and Alabama coastline because we still have that danger of life-threatening storm surge as the onshore push comes ashore here in the next couple of hours. But it does look, Mike, that it's a little less likely for you to get the strongest onshore flow as compared to places like Pascagoula.
Yeah, and obviously I'm saying something that is well known. Nobody's complaining about that because that was the concern, is the surge. It ramped up. They ramped up the numbers last night and this morning because the hurricane became stronger. And when I saw 11 feet, I thought, wow, that's a pretty big number considering where the center's supposed to come in. But right now, we don't have any issues with surge. We still have another hour and a half. Dr. Knapp?
Okay, thanks, Michael. Let's quickly go over to Jim Cantori if he could.
So, again, let's go about 70 miles off to my west, actually a little bit more than that. Mike Seidel in Biloxi, Mississippi, and find out exactly what's happening there. Again, Mike, we've just had that band of heaviest rain slip off to our east a little bit on the Floribama area. But what are you seeing? Again, you're a little bit closer to that eye wall that not eye wall, but circulation center that Dr. Knapp was talking about.
Yeah, Jim, and I also noticed you're under a tornado warning over there. Over here right now, we're in between that northern band and then the crux of the storm as it comes our way in the next hour or so. So right now it's raining lightly. The winds are gusting 25, 30 miles an hour. And we've got storm tracker Charles Peak. He's out on Highway 90. That's the main east-west thoroughfare on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Last night, gridlock. Tonight, it's a ghost town. And, Charles, you're about a mile east of here. What are you seeing on the roadway as far as water?
Well, we've got both the east and the westbound sides covered with some water here. It's parts of it, I had a vehicle go through it a little while ago. It looked to be maybe 1.5 feet deep at spots, but this is the first spot I've seen as I've traversed up and down where it's actually covering 90 here.
Is this freshwater rain flooding, or is this surge coming in? Because where I am, not far from you, the water from the Gulf isn't even over the dune line. But is this localized flash flooding?
As you know, we just had that squall line that pushed through that was pretty heavy rains for a while, so it's very possible where I'm at, it's dark enough that I can't see because of the dunes, so it's very possible to be freshwater flooding here.
And where did you drive in from? Did you come down 110, or have you been driving up and down 90 on the Gulf Coast?
I've been driving up and down 90 all evening from almost the bridge on the other east of Biloxi back to Gulfport.
And this is the first time you've seen any kind of significant flooding on Highway 90?
Yes, sir, other than just, ponding in spots, but around the edges. But this one, it's got both sides for a little bit there. Looks like about, I would say,
and
a quarter of a mile wide.
And as far as any kind of debris, I know the winds have only gusted about 45 to 48 miles an hour over in Gulfport and over here, too. Have you seen anything down, any trees down at all?
No, sir, just a few palm fronds and signs being blown around, but no damage. Waves crashing in at spots, on the beach side, but that's all I've seen so far.
Yeah, that sounds just about right with this kind of wind speed. Okay, Charles Peak, thanks for the update. Again, Charles on Highway 90 up here, and he did see there is some water covering parts of the 90, about a foot to a foot and a half. But, Jim, he's saying that's not from surge. That is likely freshwater flash flooding. And once again, Jim, the wind blowing down the beach from east to west right now, not blowing onshore like it is east of here in Pascagoula, Mobile Bay, and over towards you in Orange Beach.
And very minimal, but again, Mike Seidel, where you are, that's where the center of the storm is. We're well off to the east of the center. What's the conditions like as Nate nears the landfall?
Well, and once again, it goes to show you that the center is just a point, and the impacts can impact areas miles and miles away, and you're well to our east. Now, the west side of this storm, you get over to New Orleans, and things are in much better shape. In fact, little impact there at all. What we're seeing now is the surge coming up. Look at this. Remember, over the past hour or so, I've been down at the end of this walkway. We've lost part of the dune fence to this angry Gulf of Mexico. So the water is coming up in here, and I would estimate our surge here at least a couple of feet, but no more than that. And we've got about another hour or so of this. We're still waiting for the brunt of the rain to come in here. We had that little edge of the northern eye wall come in here. I just checked Keesler Air Force Base, and the gust was topped out at 56 miles an hour. That's our top gust so far that I've seen on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, 56 miles an hour. Hallelujah. If it doesn't blow any stronger than that, nobody's complaining. And we just checked, Jim, with Entergy, the main power company. So far, no power outages here. There's some up inland in Jackson, Mississippi, but here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, look at this. Look at this big surge of water coming right up towards the hotel. But here on the Gulf Coast now, no reports of any power outages, which is a good thing. Jim, over in Orange Beach, go ahead.
Well, Mike,
Meteorologist Mike Seidel on the beach in Biloxi. The entire beach is underwater. In fact, the surge is now coming up over the dune line. We've lost just about the entire dune fence out here. It's been just washed away by the pure force of the Gulf of Mexico. We're watching now for what's left of the circulation, and that it's not a true eye wall, but it's coming at us here in the next few minutes, and it's all rolling in. Look at this water rolling up now up to the boardwalk, and another wave comes in, and yet another wave comes in. So it's happening very quickly now. I'm on this little hill here, and the water is just surrounding the entire area here on the beach in Biloxi. We knew this was going to happen. We're expecting up to 11 feet. We're not going to get that here, but east of here, where we have the wind blowing perpendicular to the beach, like Pascagoula, over towards Mobile Bay, there's more susceptible to a higher surge. But with that said, if you were watching earlier today, or just a few hours ago, you could go all the way out there. So the water's come up, I'd say, several feet now as the waves continue to roll in. And we've got another probably hour or so of a wind that's going to continue to pile this water up. Let's go back to Orange Beach. That's over to my east in Alabama. Check in with Jim Cantori. Jim? Let's go. I'm sorry. We're going to go back to Dr. Rick Knabb. Dr. Knabb, give us the update on that eye wall, or what is the eye wall coming at us, and there's that wind. Boy, it's whipping right now, Dr. Knabb.
Yeah. Such as it is, the northeastern band, or the what would be an eye wall if it was a little bit better defined and all the way around the center, is really going to, I think, maximize its effect on the Pascagoula area, Jackson County, Mississippi, and not as much, Mike, in Biloxi, because I think you're going to go through the northern part of it and then get into the eye, such as it is, whereas while you experience the calm after that northern band goes through, over in Pascagoula, they're going to be getting their strongest onshore push, and that'll happen, I think, within the hour.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how this takes shape. You know, you read about it in a textbook, you see it on YouTube, and you experience the surge coming in, and you can see how the dunes being impacted here. Now, the sea oats have very deep roots, so they're okay, but this is the main barrier of many beaches, the sea oats and the dune, and it really holds back the water, whether it's the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic. But you just look out here, and that whole dune fence is gone. You can see the poles out there. Maybe you can see the poles as the waves come rolling in here. You know, if you think back to this afternoon, we were out here between 1 and 5, and there was maybe 1 foot waves. And now we've got these 5 to 6 footers, and the wind howling and the rain coming down. So this is how quickly things have changed. In fact, this time last night, we had thousands in town, and US 90 was gridlocked. There was a light breeze. It was a beautiful early fall evening, and look how quickly things turn around as Nate makes its second landfall here shortly on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Still, though, Dr. Nab, our peak gust at Keesler only 56 miles an hour, so we haven't even gotten up close to hurricane force yet. But now the rain's picking up, and we'll see what we can muster out of this. I call it the eye wall. I know it's not a true eye wall, but it's the best thing we have to offer on the Weather Channel right now as far as Nate is concerned.
Yeah, so Mike, you got really one more band, the eye wall-ish northern band, to go through, and after that, it's going to be calm for a while, and it may never rain heavily again in Biloxi. However, like I was mentioning before, I wanted to reiterate, you just go several miles to the east and go to places like Pascagoula, Mississippi, and they are going to continue to get this northeastern crescent-shaped band, and they'll get the northeastern part, and then they'll get the eastern part, and the heavy rain and the onshore flow will last a lot longer. So it'll be very interesting, Mike, to see how calm you get and then how active it stays in Jackson County and Pascagoula, Mississippi. So